Hello, Capricorn Rising. It's Mandy Ray of Ecstatic Astrology here with your December 2023 Rising Sign forecast. Please forgive the delay that I had getting these out. I have been under the weather a little bit, so is my family. But we're here now, and we're going to start with the new moon that was December 12th. That was in Sagittarius, which is your 12th house. This is kind of an existential place for you. The 12th house is not exactly easy. It is retreat, self reflection. Sometimes it's isolation, meditation, spirituality. That's where the new moon was for you. A lot of times that can also be your mental health as well. The thing about this new moon, which is a new seed being planted, right? That's what a new moon is that it was square to Neptune and Pisces. Okay. So this is in your third house of thought, communication, decision making. It can be just like a lot going on, and you're just feeling like you don't want to deal with any of it, is kind of what I'm thinking. Also, a hard time understanding which direction to go, what decision to make, how to communicate clearly. Those can all be things that come up during this whole month, honestly. Yes, it's the new moon that was doing this, but tomorrow, I'm recording this December 15th, by the way. Tomorrow is the 16th, and the sun gets into that exact square with Neptune. And then later in the month, Mercury retrograde and Mars both square Neptune. So these themes come up over and over again this month, and that's worth noting. Even with Venus moving into Sagittarius on the 29th, it squares Saturn in the same places. Okay, Saturn's in your third house, and then Venus will be in your 12th house. So those little maybe kind of moments where the road isn't so clear. I'm not exactly sure which place to go, or even how to say it, or how to understand it, with it being third and 12th house. So definitely a spiritual time where you need to take time to just kind of center yourself. That brings me to Mercury retrograde. It went retrograde on the 13th in Capricorn. That is your first house of self. That is who I am. And I need to rethink something here, how I structure my self, my instincts, my identity. And Capricorn is structure and it's achievement. And so maybe wanting to be seen as an authority, or how I go about that is really the Mercury retrograde lesson. So Mercury retrograde is doing a really nice thing. It's trining Jupiter in Taurus on the 18th. It is retrograde, but Taurus is your fifth house of creativity and joy and romance and children. And so that is exact for the second time on the 18th, because it did it in November. It's doing it for a second time retrograde. So this is actually really nice, and it helps you tune into who you are as a person, what you value creatively, and your purpose and your instincts, and feeling very centered in that way. But with it being Mercury retrograde and Jupiter, both of them retrograde, it's more internal, it's more thought provoking than anything. It does that a third time, January 19th, and that's when everything will really come together. I'm really excited about that one. But then there's something else going on, and that is Mercury retrograding back into Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, again, is your 12th house, which is subconscious spirituality, retreat, self-reflection, transcendence, release. It's very abstract. It's very spiritual. So Mercury retrograding back there will be philosophical, spiritual. Mars will be there as well. It can be a little frustrating, even like, I just can't deal with it anymore. I need to escape, sort of a feeling. So that is coming up. That really starts the 23rd. Mercury goes back into that area, Mercury retrograde. And then on the 27th and 28th, again, it squares Neptune and Pisces. So that's something that may be a little frustrating. Luckily, we do have the sun and Capricorn on those days, trine Jupiter. So that brings me to the full moon, because there is support even in the middle of that little frustrating kind of transit. So the full moon in Cancer on the 26th, that is your seventh house of relationships, friendships, agreements, cooperation. And it is supporting this third house of communication, learning, siblings, community, decision making. So there is a sense that you're cooperating and communicating well. The sun will be in Capricorn, trine to Jupiter in Taurus in your fifth house of creativity, purpose, romance, children. All of these places are working together well. Okay. So, I mean, the full moon sextile the fifth house. So, this looks like a really fun time, honestly. It's the day after Christmas, maybe hanging out with your people, communicating, making decisions, feeling like you're in your joy, even in the middle of that Mercury transit. So, the last thing is that Venus moves back into Sagittarius or moves into direct, it's not retrograde, into Sagittarius on the 29th and Jupiter goes direct on the 30th. So Venus moves into your 12th house, maybe actually giving you time to retreat and reflect. One thing about Venus and Sagittarius, though, it's going to make an initial square to Saturn and Pisces. Again, these two areas coming up, communication and escapism, basically. Thinking and needing to not think are those two areas. But after that, it really does get lucky because Jupiter goes direct in Taurus. Taurus, again, is your fifth house of good fortune. And Jupiter direct there is in mutual benefit with Venus. Where am I talking about? The 12th house. So there does seem to be, oops. So Venus and Taurus are feeding each other from their respective homes, basically. So this does look like actually you may get a chance to disconnect, hopefully. Venus square Saturn may make that a little difficult, but there is some nice stuff coming up. Mercury goes direct on the 1st as a heads up. So you got Mercury and Jupiter direct. And then you're going to just have, I think, some really nice stuff going into the new year after that initial Venus square Saturn. All right, Capricorn rising, thank you so much. I will see you on the flip side for January 2024 video. Just be aware, I am doing a deep dive workshop on the whole of 2024. Once I get unretrograded, maybe I will announce that and start everything with it. It's just taking me a minute. So I will catch you in January. Have a happy holiday.